Hi everyone, welcome and thanks for joining us today for WordStream's webinar, the 20-minute PPC Work Week, how to make an impact with AdWords in 20 minutes per week. My name is Chris and I'll be your moderator for today's presentation. For today's agenda, you're going to hear some shocking yet common problems we see in PPC accounts. We're going to cover 5 guidelines for achieving success in Google AdWords. We're going to go over an introduction to the 20-minute PPC Work Week. And we're also going to show you how to make the most of WordStream's PPC Advisor in the 20-minute PPC Work Week. If you'd like to share information that you're learning during the webinar through Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other social channel, you can include the hashtag #20MinPPC. Now to just introduce our speakers, we have on the webinar today Chad Larson and Tim Warner. Both Chad and Tim are search strategy team managers here at WordStream. They have 10+ years experience helping small to medium-sized businesses navigate the search marketing landscape. Both of them are WordStream and AdWords certified, and they're big-time Boston sports fans. Tim's also a proud father.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. Thanks, Chris.
So now that we learned a little bit about our speakers, we just like to learn a little bit of who we have on the call today. I'm going to launch a couple polls right now, and if everyone can just participate and just choose the answer that best fits them. So I'm going to launch the poll right now. First question we have here is, how much time do you spend doing PPC work every week? I'm supposed to do work in PPC account every week, less than 1 hour a week, 1 to 10 hours per week, 10 to 39 hours per week, or 40+ hours a week. It's my full-time job. So if you guys could just answer that right now, and I'll just give it a few minutes. And Chad and Tim, I'm just curious to know, in your conversations with folks, where do you see them spending most of their time?
Honestly, all across the board, Chris, but I think a lot of people that we speak with have some issues with finding the right negative keywords. I feel like it's a lot of the issues, but Chad, what do you think?
As far as how much time people are spending in their accounts, it can range from literally an account on autopilot that hasn't been touched or optimized in a long time, or people that are in there on a daily or even hourly basis. So we really see it across the board. But one fact is that people definitely need to be doing more within their account, and that's something we're going to touch on here in the next couple slides.
Let's just share the results here. And it looks like 42% of the audience that we have on the webinar today, 1 to 10 hours per week. So a big chunk of the audience, not spending a lot in their account per week. So I think this webinar and the insights we're going to share today are going to be very useful. So I'm just going to launch one more poll here. The question is, what's your biggest time sink in PPC management? And your choices are PPC bid management, reporting and analysis, ad text authoring, keyword research or negative keyword research, or landing page creation and optimization. And we'll just give you guys a few moments to answer. Okay, so we're just going to launch the poll results here. So it looks like we're pretty even with reporting and analysis and keyword research and negative keyword research and landing page creation and optimization. So I think with our insights from today's presentation, I'm confident we can alleviate the time sink pain points, and show people how to create a more productive workflow in less time. And so with that, let me hand things over to Chad. He can begin the presentation.
Great, thanks a lot, Chris. And that's great insight from who we have on the call today. It's definitely going to be effective to really learn about the 20-minute work week and how we can continue to take more actions within our AdWords account. In the bottom line, really to see how we can generate more business for our clients or for our own business. We wanted to start off with some trivia and really kind of introduce a couple of points that we've been able to learn as we talk to prospects and customers here at WordStream, and also as we look at the AdWords performance graders that some of you may have had a chance to run before this call. So. How often do small businesses spending under $5,000 a month on AdWords do work in their account? And you can see the answers here that 50% of them don't even check once per week or per month. 25% haven't done anything in the last 90 days. And agencies and advertisers really score the same across the board.
And question number 2, with the answer that just popped up, what percentage of AdWords accounts have used at least one negative keyword in the last 90 days? The answer is less than half of small and medium-sized businesses have used one or more negative keywords in their AdWords account in the last 90 days. 20% of these advertisers that we talk to and that run the grader and use our software have never even used a negative keyword for their account, and obviously this is incredibly important. And we do absolutely think it's incredibly important for everyone to use our AdWords Performance Grader, which I'm sure most people here are familiar with. I think Chad just mentioned it before. And in case you're wondering where all of our stats and all of our data comes from, it does come directly from that AdWords Performance Grader, and it is free. It's a tool that does a really quick, instant audit of your account. Grade your performance by comparing it to other AdWords advertisers that are in the similar spend range as you are. The report card that you're going to get, it quickly and easily highlights areas that you're doing well, right, and in areas that you also need to improve upon. And again, you can try it for yourself, which we definitely suggest everyone does. It's going to give you a much better understanding of where you are right now with your AdWords performance. And again, this is actually one of my favorite pieces of data that we pull out for people. It gives you a realistic approach as to how relevant your account is. So not your individual keywords, but more your account, how well you're performing on Google's scale, right, on their quality score scale from 1 to 10. And with this person, they're at about a 3.8. But what I want everyone to look at is the last sentence that we're pulling out there. We're showing and we're telling people that by improving your score by 1.8 or sometimes 2 or 3, you can save a lot of that wasted spend that you have, or you can get more qualified clicks within your account.
That's great, and we'll touch on quality score just a little bit more as we go through the 20-minute work week and really what actions our software and service really will help you take on a weekly basis to improve your average quality score within the account. But make sure you take a minute to run the AdWords Performance Grader. If you haven't already, we have clients and prospects or people that use this tool that literally run the AdWords Grader on a weekly basis to see how things have changed in their account. So the picture here is pretty aggressive when it comes to the average AdWords account for small and medium-sized businesses. But based on the thousands of accounts, that we've been able to look at and review and run through the AdWords Grader, this is really what we're seeing. We're seeing no negative keywords, very low account activity. It really comes, when it boils down to it, really comes up as a train wreck, right? We're able to use a lot of that data and that information that we've gained from the AdWords Grader and from people that we've talked to put that information back into our software and make these tasks and things that we don't see a lot easier for people to do on a weekly and daily basis.
And we have come up with 5 things that we know are true about being successful with Google AdWords. I mean, we've literally analyzed thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of accounts at this point, and pull data from them, right, and see what works and what doesn't work. And we talk to thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of different users, people from all over the world, people in different industries, people with different spend. And we also get to share our findings with Google, which is really, really cool. And so we have summarized this data that we've collected into 5 things that we wanted to share back with you. And number 1 is that PPC is very, very hard. And it's an easy concept, right? You're just trying to get your ad in front of someone who is doing a search. But we found in our study that the most successful people, the most successful PPC advertisers are leveraging additional tools, whether they're third-party commercial tools or internally developed tools through Excel or a tool like a WordStream, right? And these are on top of the free tools that Google AdWords platform can offer you. It makes PPC a lot less hard, and it gives you an edge over your competition.
Number 2, and the second fact that we want to bring to the forefront for you guys is that like anything else in life, you get what you put in, right? And what this has to do is we looked closely at, account activity levels. And what I mean by that is the number of logins, the number of new and deleted ad groups, the number of new and deleted ad text, and the number of new keywords and bid changes, right? And we found that there was a strong correlation between account activity and success. So the accounts that had more activity and more management, more optimization, and where people are actually going in and making meaningful changes, those accounts were a lot more successful. And where the bad accounts, there just wasn't the activity. Those things weren't being done. Whether the business owner or the agency really didn't know what to do, or they didn't have the time to do it. So that's where we want to come in and really give you a platform and a tool, like Tim was saying, to help you accomplish this activity and these tasks on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, good. I like those points, Chad. And something else that we found too is it's really important to keep your account clean. What do I mean by that? There are bad keywords, and they do play a leading role in AdWords performance destruction. They can drain your budget. They can lower your account quality score. They make it impossible to achieve any success. And advertisers that are pausing, that are fixing, or I guess killing, it's a little strong, but killing poorly performing keywords, are using negative keywords, or they're using more restrictive keyword match types, modified broad or an exact, right? And these people who are using these techniques are far outperforming advertisers or agencies that employ something that we call the buy and hold philosophy, meaning keep running the same keywords over and over and over again, or the same ad text over and over and over again, and never making a change, right? So there's a lot of people out there who, from the data that we find, right, the important thing to do is get rid of keywords that are not working and start trying out new keywords and ad text.
I agree. And number 4, you've got to have goals. And Chris, we wanted to run one more poll here around goals and what type of goals the people on the call today are setting on a monthly or even quarterly basis. So we just launched another poll if you guys want to take a second to respond to the poll. Great. It looks like we have most everyone has responded, and I think we'll just close the poll now. As we share those results, it looks like 48% of people came back with, that they're never setting goals, and that's kind of alarming to us, right? But it's also in line with what we've seen through people that are reaching out to us, people that have ran the AdWords Performance Grader, that have done a free trial of our software. They just haven't had these goals in place to really know what to do. And it's something that I do on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, outside of work or at work as well, where as you set these goals, it helps create a path, right? A path for success, right? Some can be very challenging, some can be smaller. For some people that have never here, you could get into just setting 10 negative keywords on a weekly basis could be a great goal for you.
Or developing a workflow too, right?
Mm-hmm. And really, creating that workflow, and here we have it here, knowing what you want defines and simplifies your workflow, right? So if you have to add a certain number of negatives, change a certain number of bids, increase that CPA number or decrease the CPA number, and you have a plan in place and a workflow in place, that's where you're going to be successful to achieve these goals.
And the last thing that we found here, succeeding at PPC, it is all about relevance, okay? And relevance with Google is really defined by quality score, right? So not surprisingly, we have found a huge correlation between average quality score and AdWords success. And so this means that granular, long-tail keyword selection combined with relevant ad text, ad text that actually matches the landing page, matches the person searching, is going to improve overall click-through rate. It's going to improve overall quality score. And in our studies, average quality score was really the second strongest predictor of AdWords success, which, Chad, the first is account activity, right? Is taking action in your account, which we've kind of already covered.
It's incredible how many accounts and advertisers we speak to that have these large number of keywords in a single ad group, right? And they're trying to take 50 keywords and write one ad that's going to represent all 50 of those keywords, or even 100 keywords in one ad group. Or we want to create that direct link where a search can be done and you clearly answer that search with a relevant ad.
Yeah, and this can actually go all the way back to I think our first slide, where PPC is hard. If you think of quality score, it's essentially giving the person searching a direct link for exactly what they're looking for. It's a really, really simple concept that's incredibly difficult to master. And we found that through our tools and through our discussions with people, and it's a common problem. It's a common problem that we help people fix. And this is digging into quality score a little bit more too.
Yeah, we wanted to just touch on this briefly. It's kind of that ecosystem, right, that keeps Google going. And if they didn't have quality score and relevancy in place, this ecosystem would really break down. Because if Google was delivering ads that weren't relevant to the search for the customers would really start to go away, right? So that's why they have to have quality score and relevancy in place to continue to really present the best possible answer to these searches. And when you think about it, that's all Google really wants to do. When a search is done, they want to make sure that their customers, me and Tim and Chris and all of you on the phone, we actually get the answer to what we're looking for. Whether I'm looking to buy something, I'm looking for a service, or I'm just looking, to see what the climate is in Cancun in October, whatever it would be.
And again, through our data and through our discussions with Google, we know that the #1 most important factor in quality score is click-through rate. And if you're not familiar how that is calculated, it is clicks divided by impressions. Okay? So the more people who see your ad and want to click on your ad, the more relevant Google is going to think you are. And this is actually going to play a huge role in where you're showing up on the searches and how much you're actually paying per click. And obviously all this is going to result in your CPA, your cost per acquisition. But this screen right here, it does a really great job of breaking down quality score and how it's actually calculated.
And feel free to reach out to us if you want kind of a more personalized breakdown of this and kind of dive into it in a lot more detail. We'd be happy to go over it with you, or one of the team members here would go over this in detail with you. But a couple points here. Quality score is really a multiplier when it comes to your position on the page, and it's a divider when it comes to your price. So we want a higher ad rank, our position on the page, and we want a lower price. We do that with a higher quality score.
Yeah, and like Chad said, this is a lot of information that we're throwing at you, and if you do want to discuss this with either one of us or somebody on our team, where we are available after the webinar to have discussions. But essentially, we now want to introduce the 20-minute work week, and we have summarized those 5 things that we know to be true for being successful with AdWords. So now we're kind of take everything that we've learned and actually put it into a plan of action with that 20-minute PPC work week. So
with the 20-minute PPC work week, we're saying if you have a limited amount of time, or you're not setting these goals, or you don't have the account activity levels where they need to be, this is literally step by step as we go through these things you can do with our software and our service in a short period of time. If you're never setting goals right now, or if you have very low activity within your account, this is really a path to success. And as we start here, we can easily check bids and budget. Part of the 20-minute work week is going to recommend bid changes on a weekly basis for you. And we're going to look at key factors within your account to change these bids and really reallocate your budget to more successful keywords, or keywords that have a really good return on investment over time.
And here's where we're putting that, the third thing that we found to be true with Google AdWords accounts into action. Pausing poorly performing keywords. So what you want to do is you want to look for the outliers in your account. The keywords that have below average quality scores or bad ROI if you're actually tracking conversions. These are pretty often excessively broad terms like insurance or weight loss, and they're going to drain the budget, and they're really, really competitive. So we do want to stress to you, look for these type of keywords. If they are not performing, pause them.
And step 3, minutes 5 to 9, do keyword research, right? add promising keywords, set negative keywords. And we want to bring this to the forefront for you, make it something that you can review quickly, hit one button and add the good keywords back to the right ad group, hit another button to eliminate these keywords from your account or from a specific campaign, making it really easy as we analyze the search query data to either add new keywords or set negatives. It's one of Tim and I's favorite tools within the 20-minute work week, the ability to identify negative keywords on a weekly basis.
In optimizing text ads, if we think back to quality score, how it's actually calculated, right? The number 2 most important part of quality score is ad text relevancy. And a lot of that actually plays into the click-through rate too. If someone wants to click on your ad, it matches the search. But essentially what you want to do is you want to throw out your worst ad or at least pause your worst ad. Normally this is the one with the lowest click-through rate, meaning people just don't want to click on that ad. If someone doesn't want to click on your ad, it doesn't make sense to keep throwing it up on Google. It just is not going to help you.
Improve campaign relevancy, right? Minutes 15 to 18. Split your largest ad group. And we were talking about this just a few minutes ago, right? These ad groups that have hundreds of keywords, and we've seen it. We could tell stories about ad groups that are just way too big, where and people ask us too, what's the right amount of keywords in an ad group? And you have to think about it in a different way. How can I actually write an ad, right, that's going to represent these keywords? Whether it's 2 keywords, whether it's 10 keywords, are they going to make sense if that's typed into Google and my ad shows? How is my ad really going to answer that question? So we have a couple tools within the 20-minute work week that are going to help you split those large ad groups up, make them a lot more specific and more relevant for your account.
And the last step, run a report. If you have a boss, send it to your boss. If you have a client, send it to your client. Let them know how things are going. If you are the boss, it's going to give you a different way to look at the performance of your account. It's important really for 2 reasons. Number 1, sending out a report, it reminds others about the work that you're doing, right? It makes you more accountable for your work. And, as Chad and I are managers, we obviously want our guys to be accountable too. And we do ask for reports from our guys, not on AdWords, but for the work that they're doing. Same thing for you. It's also important to set expectations with your client or with your boss. Achieving success with AdWords, it is a long-term process, right? And just by even purchasing tools or testing out tools, it's doing this continued action week after week after week, month after month after month. That's how you improve your account. There's no easy switch when it comes to AdWords, but by doing certain actions over and over again and reporting on that to know that you're doing it correctly, that's how you're achieving that success with AdWords.
Exactly. And here we have an infographic here that kind of puts it all together. We also wanted to add a couple different screenshots here, right, where you can actually see what the platform or the dashboard looks like. We'd be happy to have someone over here walk you through a customized version of this for your account, right, where you can actually sign up for the free trial. You can see what negative keywords we're going to be able to pull back for you and suggest. It's really easy as far as clicking on this act button and really seeing these suggestions.
Yeah, and what I would suggest to people too, and Chad already did say it, but I do want to stress it, is sync your own account to this platform because you'll be able to see where you're overspending in your account. Almost 99% of the people that we talk to, Chad, they do have some overspend, whether it's $100, whether it's $100,000. Every dollar counts when it comes to PPC, and you want to know where that money is going. And it is a free trial too, which is really cool. But these tools, they're going to show you what negatives to add in. It's going to show you which keywords to optimize bids and why. It's going to show you which keywords to add into your account. These are keywords that you're matching on, but you're not currently bidding on. You're getting traffic for it. You're getting impressions for it.
Yep.
But you're not getting that great credit coming from Google because you're not entered into the auction market. And it's going to pull out text ads that are not performing for you, and it's going to show you how you can improve that. and how you can relaunch that text ad. And then again, when we're talking about killing keywords, right, and pausing keywords, we can review costly keywords at the bottom. And it's going to give you a better sense of where you are right now. So if you have that AdWords performance grader and you have those alerts that we just showed you, you're going to be 1,000 times better off than where you are right now if you haven't run those yet.
Yep. And feel free to reach out to us and really and set up a more customized demo where we can look at your account in detail and really have one of the guys over here dive into things with you on your level, right, and really what your need is when it comes to AdWords.
Yeah, and Chad, this is actually one of the most common questions we get is 20 minutes a week enough time? Can you really achieve success in AdWords in just 20 minutes a week? What we do want to stress is that we've looked at thousands of accounts, hundreds of thousands of accounts. We found account activity for the average SMB is very low, and in a lot of cases, if you really did just some work for 20 minutes a week, you'd be ahead of 90% of the accounts that are out there. And just in terms of just effort alone and work alone and hard work alone, which is the biggest predictor of success within PPC.
Yeah, and then another question, we're kind of proactively asking some questions on your guys' behalf, but what if I have more than 20 minutes of issues in my account?
So I guess the 20 minutes that we're saying, the 20-minute work week, it's a minimum. It's not a maximum. But for SMBs, for small to medium-sized business owners, you're often better off changing fewer things each week rather than changing everything at once, or to make changes every day so that your AdWords experiment can be significant, right? So that you can actually read this data, analyze this data, and optimize this data.
And then what if it takes more than 20 minutes to the task for the work week?
So I think one of the first things that we said is if you use tools like WordStream to automate and to get ahead of these time-consuming tasks, you're going to be in a lot better place, right? And one of the neat things about the WordStream tool is that it does prioritize things for you. It gives you that workflow that 95% of people just don't have in AdWords. In our keyword expansion tools, right, they do a lot of the automated keyword analysis, and they only suggest the most promising ones to look at or to use.
So how to make the most of the PPC Advisor or the 20-minute PPC work week? Most advertisers' AdWords accounts are a disaster, right? We looked at the train wreck picture. We're basing that off of the AdWords performance grader in the hundreds of thousands of accounts that we've looked at, right? And one of the biggest things, like we said, is activity. How can I get into my account and create more activity? We reviewed the 5 habits of successful PPC marketers. Looking at relevancy, goals, activity, keeping your PPC house clean, right? And they're all really basing off of action, weekly action around those ideas. Think of PPC campaign work as a reoccurring weekly task, something that I'm going to do this on a weekly basis. I'm going to set goals around this, and week after week I'm going to continue to see improvement.
Yeah, and Chad, we didn't use the analogy that we have 100 times, but it's like going to the gym. You can't just go for a day or for a week and expect to buff up, right, or to lose a few pounds and hit the treadmill for an hour and boom, you've lost that 30 pounds that you wanted to lose. No, it's something that you have to do over and over and over again to achieve that success. And that's why having tools, I guess, like a WordStream that automates the analysis for you, where you can just make the educated decision to add something into your account, is something that most people actually need.
In WordStream PPC Advisor, we really enable the 20-minute PPC work week. It's an impactful PPC workflow for managing your AdWords accounts, right? And that's really what we want to do. We want to save you time, but we want to create this workflow that's really going to make a difference, right? That's where you're going to see change, you're going to see results over time if we can log in and really do these actions.
And again, this is how we are different than AdWords, than what you're using right now, or even if you are using a third-party tool, then how we're different than them as well. And we have those action automated alerts for people that we showed in that 20-minute work week. We do have that simplified workflow. We do have really, really powerful tools that are really built for the more advanced users, but it's fantastic because they are so easy to understand for the novice and intermediate people too. And then again, we do have experts on our side that you can talk to here, that we do have Premier Consulting, and we have a lot of that information on the website, so I do suggest that people go there and read up as to exactly what we do offer, and call us and contact us. We're nice people here. But our whole goal here is to help you get more qualified clicks, to lower your costs, and to really get on with your life. That's what we pride ourselves on, and that's what we help people with.
Yeah, and I think we'll turn it over to Chris. Hopefully you guys have a lot of questions for us that hopefully we'll be able to answer. So, Chris, were you going to run a couple more polls, or?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I have one last poll question here, and I'll launch it. The last poll question is for a live personalized demo. So if anybody on the webinar today is interested in loading their account in and seeing what those recommendations might be for them for the 20-minute work week, let us know, and we'll make sure to work with our experts here to reach out and get you in a demo right away. Do you guys want to just go right into Q&A? And we'll just leave this poll open for the moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. We have a lot of great questions coming in. Thanks for everyone participating. We're getting a lot of questions about Google automating bidding. Do you guys recommend setting auto bidding on?
Well, there's a couple different types. I mean, they do have if you're tracking conversions, you can definitely do the CPA bidding through Google. A lot of times, how we address that, or when we get that question, is Google's the one that you're writing the check to at the end of the day, right? So they could be incentivized to really spend more money, or spend your money a lot quicker, right? So giving them the control of your bidding, right, and what you're willing to bid on a certain keyword can definitely be risky. We would recommend looking at the data, looking at the quality score, which our tool does, and which the 20-minute work week will do for you, and then making sure that you're reallocating, or your money's you're spending the right amount of money on the right keywords, and looking at it at a keyword level versus just turning everything over to Google.
Another question we had here was how much should a small to medium-sized business spend on PPC account per month to gain the best return?
Chris, I think we get that question every time we do the webinars, and we always say it's a very difficult question to answer. What we suggest to people is spend what you can budget. But the most important part is to analyze the results that you're getting and optimize the results of what you're getting. And so I don't think there is a dollar amount that we feel comfortable saying to somebody that you should start here. But it's more what you can spend, and using a tool to spend it the right way, and then analyzing and optimizing off that data. I
always tell people too, right? You've got to believe in your website. If you believe that if someone does a certain search, they click on your ad and they land on your landing page or on your website, and you think they're going to pick up the phone or take the right action or fill out an inquiry form, right? That's when you can start to be successful with AdWords, right? And you can test that and see how successful it's been, and then you're going to be a lot more confident in investing more with AdWords.
And it's interesting too, because obviously Chad and I have been in the business for a long time, and if you just take someone who owns a plumbing company and they might spend $500 a month, their results could actually be better than someone who's spending $2,000 a month. But because they're putting more effort into their account and they're taking action in their account, they're able to get better results than someone who could be spending a lot more money.
Yep.
So we're getting a lot of questions about ad groups. One of the questions is, can you ever have too many ad groups in a campaign? And also, what is the max number of keywords you should have in an ad group?
So I'll take the keyword one. I think Chad will tackle the ad group one. We kind of live by having somewhere between 20 to 25 to 30 keywords per ad group. That could probably even be more on the high end. You really want to pay attention as to how relevant these keywords are to that ad text. And you want the ad text to contain the keywords that you're bidding on. And if I'm hoping everyone signs up for the free trial of the software, because it does, the WordStream software, it does such a good job, our ad text tool, of walking you through creating best ad text and using your most popular keywords in an ad group inside that ad text.
Yeah, exactly. And the number of ad groups, right? You have to prioritize, right? If you have 20 products, right, you can probably have, a campaign and 5 ad groups for each one of those products, right? But if you have thousands of products and thousands of offerings, right, you really have to prioritize, right? If no one's searching for one of your products, right, and there's very limited search, you may not need an ad group for that, right? You really want to focus and prioritize your time within your account on products and offerings that are really driving the majority of your business. And that's kind of my recommendation, because you're never going to have enough time to create an infinite amount of ad groups, but definitely prioritize the direction of each one of those.
Great. We're also getting a few agency questions in here. So one person asked, can I use your tool for multiple clients and domains?
Yes, absolutely. I think the number is probably around 45% at this point for our client base who are actually agencies who are managing multiple AdWords accounts, and it's a great tool that can help you with efficiency and client performance. So again, test out the free trial. You're going to know if this is a tool that can help you, and talk to somebody over here, because we all have a lot of experience working with agencies and helping them determine what third-party tool is the best for them.
Yeah, and with the software will really mirror your MCC account, so you'll be able to switch from different accounts just like you can in AdWords.
Yep, we'd have one main login and then the list of all your clients right there for you.
Great. I know you guys touched on this a little bit earlier in the webinar, but a lot of people are asking, how do you get your quality score higher?
That's kind of the golden question, right? One of the biggest things is I always like to take it back to a very simple process, right? If you look at this as a story, right, and you want your searcher, right, or the person out there to really continue that story, and if you can build your campaign around that with keywords that are connected to an ad that answers that question, right, and continues that story, and then you take them to a landing page, right, that answers their question even further, right, and then they're going to take action. And think about it in a simple manner like that, and you're going to see success. On top of that, you want to be monitoring the search query data and really seeing what people are searching, and either eliminating that by setting negatives to help your click-through rate, or adding those searches back into your account that you've broad matched or phrase matched on to, again, make your account more relevant, and also have an ad in place that's going to speak to those searches that before you didn't have an ad in place to handle them.
Another question we had here was, how much time should I give a keyword to perform before you rate it to be poor? So is there a recommended time frame that you should wait on a keyword before removing it from your campaign?
Tough question, Chris, but what I like to say is let's make sure we have enough data, and again, what is enough data, right? More times or not, it's going to be somewhere around 30 days.
It could depend on the number of impressions.
Right. It could depend on impressions and on click-throughs and like I said, the performance of that keyword. But I kind of like to take a look at 30 days worth of data and make decisions off of that.
And there's other things you can do too. Instead of pausing it, you could maybe break it out into its own ad group, right? So that way you have a more relevant ad associated with that keyword that may didn't see success with an ad group that had a lot of other keywords with it, right? So think about relevancy and how that's going to impact the performance of a specific keyword. It's a great place to start.
I think we have time for one last question here. The question is it best to set negatives as broad, phrase, or exact?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends on the negative, right? usually on a one-word negative, like something like free or job. You'd probably want to set that as a broad negative because you don't want to show up for searches where people are looking for jobs, right? So that's going to eliminate any search associated with that word, whether like free or job, where you take the opposite approach when you set exact match negatives. With exact match negatives, you want to just eliminate that specific word or phrase, right? So it could be, I don't want to spend money on PPC, right? Because it's just, there's no intent behind it, but I do PPC marketing and I do PPC software, things like that. So I could set just the word PPC as an exact match negative because I don't want to spend my advertising dollars on something that has no intent. So keywords that don't have any intent, you can use exact match. Keywords like job and free that you want to blanket your account or your campaign with, those would be more on the broad match. We'd be happy to discuss that further, specific examples as well, if you guys want to give us a call or reach out to us through our website or through email.
Yeah, it's tough to give a general answer to a question like that, where you should be looking at it at a more case-by-case basis, and one of our, either Chad or myself or one of our reps here can absolutely look at the account with you and help you guys make judgments.
Well, thanks, Chad and Tim, for sharing your insights today with our audience. I would definitely advise everyone on the presentation today to try out the free account grader if you haven't already. You can run your report at wordstream.com/Google-AdWords. And again, it's free, and you'll really gain some valuable insight into how you're performing and where you can focus to improve your account. WordStream also offers a free trial of the software, and you can check it out at wordstream.com/PPC-free-trial. And if you have any questions, Chad and Tim's contact information is up on the screen right now. If you'd like to learn more, you can sign up for future webinars or access white papers, ebooks, etc. at our website, wordstream.com. And thanks again for everyone attending. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to speaking with you all.
Thanks, Chris.